What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network. And today we're talking the December 12th, 2020 edition of Talking Smack. So another very good show this week, better than I would say most of the recent episodes have been. There was one episode, I think it was 2 weeks ago, with Daniel Bryan cutting a real serious promo. I think that was 2 weeks ago. That was great stuff. But this was also quite the episode this week, I would say. So the first thing that we see on the show, obviously Kayla, Braxton, and Paul Heyman. The biggest difference between Raw Talk and Talking Smack is that both shows are exactly the same length almost every week, usually 21 to 25 minutes. They're the same exact length. Raw is a longer show, but Raw Talk is not. Raw Talk and Talking Smack are an equal amount of length. Raw Talk spent fucking 5 minutes recapping what we just saw on Raw. And Talking Smack does that too with a twist. They actually add analysis. They're insightful. It's not the same shit. For example, Kayla Braxton brings up how she's excited for TLC next Sunday. Heyman's like, why are you so excited? Why are you so joyful all the time? This is TLC. Tables, ladders, and chairs. This is going to be a grueling match. These guys are not going to come out of it the same. Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens. It's going to be an absolute war. He says that he feels his purpose on this show, Talking Smack, is to represent Roman Reigns. Kevin Owens is going to get mutilated, he said at TLC. So the first guests they welcome on are the Street Profits, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And they're entirely in serious mode here. And I've said before, the Profits are very hit or miss when it comes to stuff like this. I love the Profits. I've always been a big fan of theirs. On the talk shows, they can either be really over-the-top obnoxious or just the right amount of annoying and entertaining at the same time. Here, they were completely playing it straight. Dawkins says that the games are over. And Ford says, he's very calm in the beginning, but he says losses are going to happen regardless. But it's a matter of what you do after the loss that determines what type of person you are. He says Ziggler was the better man on SmackDown, but come next week for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, when those belts are on the line, we will be the better men. And that's when he just explodes. He just shows this great fire, starts screaming, just starts screaming out of nowhere, but I loved it. He says that he's sick of not being taken seriously, and that next week they're going to prove why they are, why they belong, and why they deserve to be the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. This was fantastic, so I love that. Carmella came on. So they were promised the winner of the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Carmella is not the SmackDown Women's Champion, but she did win the match. So that's why she came on here. But she wasn't even like a formal guest. She walked on, never even sat down. She was fucking pissed. She said that Sasha is disrespectful. She said that Sasha is obsessed with her. And, she just gets, very angry. And Heyman goes, I don't understand why everyone's so upset. It's December. Everyone should be happy, blah, blah, blah. And she says that she's going to get hers come TLC for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And they confirm that here, that Carmella is indeed still getting the SmackDown Women's title shot at the pay-per-view, because she signed the contract, I guess, on SmackDown for next Sunday, not for last night. Last night was just the cherry on top. I really wish they didn't do that, but they did it anyway, so whatever. And Kayla even says, I don't know if this is leading to something or if she just said this as an off-the-cuff remark, I don't know. But she goes that she thinks that Carmella just may be one of the most disliked women in all of WWE, which was funny. So they then welcome on Big E as their final guest. And his theme song is playing, which he debuted, I think, last week on SmackDown. And it's actually pretty good. I would say it's pretty good. It has a big theme to it, of course, but I think it's pretty good. And Big E reveals here, I'm not sure if this is public knowledge, but Wale did the theme song for him. Wale, obviously very well documented, a big WWE fan, close with the New Day. He was involved in that New Day rap with the Usos about 3 years ago. I don't know if Wale's ever actually performed with WWE. I feel like he hasn't. So I thought that was pretty cool that he actually did the theme song for Big E. That's awesome, and it sounds cool too. And again, this is where he's very kind of very upbeat when he says that he's not going to let the system break his spirit. And then he gets interrupted by Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman says that it's about damn time that this Big E came to the surface, and he's completely focused on singles gold without the New Day. Sami Zayn is your next step, he says, en route to becoming a world champion, and that you have a lot of potential. But whenever Roman Reigns is in that ring, this is what he ended with. He goes, this was like about a minute or two speech from Paul Heyman to Big E. He says, whenever Roman Reigns is in the ring, you never hear people talking about the Shield. And it left everyone speechless. Paul Heyman said nothing. Big E just sat there, just kind of thinking things over, contemplating something. Kayla Braxton was stunned. She didn't really know where that was going or whatever, really know how to follow that up. And that was it, the end of the episode on that. And I thought that was a fantastic fucking line. If that's not planting the seeds for Roman Reigns and Big E at some point, I don't know what will. And reportedly, WWE has no plans, no idea, whatever, of doing Big E. No desire, apparently, of doing Big E and Roman Reigns for the championship at WrestleMania. The Rock makes sense. But to put Big E below a Daniel Bryan, who I love, but it's like, or a Goldberg, for example. And I love Goldberg. You could hear our interview right here on the channel, cheap plug, where he says that he wants Roman Reigns. I want to see that match too, just not at WrestleMania. I think it would be a mistake for WrestleMania. So they got to get to it. I think a WrestleMania match would be great, if not soon after. But that was cool. That was a great ending to the show. Leaving Big E, speechless. Paul Heyman was great, reminding people just how good he is. And Kayla Braxton sold it very well too. Way better than like Charlie Caruso did. It was almost unbearable. And I get my obligatory Charlie Caruso shots in there every single week, but I cannot stress how fucking bad of a host she is for Raw Talk. It makes that show almost unbearable to watch. But anyway, I thought as far as Talking Smack is concerned, on a happier note here, this was a very good show. The Profits were great. Big E was great. The interaction with Paul at the end was fantastic. And Carmella was very short, sweet, and to the point. She was only on the show for like a minute. Carmella was only there for like a minute or two. Wasn't there chit-chatting it up with the hosts like a lot of people do. She meant business. She was fucking pissed. Everyone is pissed off on this episode. I love it. This was a great episode of Talking Smack. Check it out right now on the WWE Network, the December 12th, 2020 edition of Talking Smack. Be sure to check out all my other Talking Smack reviews in the description box down below in the playlist entitled WWE Network and Chill Talking Smack Reviews. Check out my SmackDown audio review from earlier on today. It probably went up at the same time as this one did, but I did that as well. I know these videos are going up a little later than usual on a Saturday night. Usually they're up first thing in the afternoon, but today was a busy day, so that's why there's a delay in the videos going out, but hopefully next week they will be up a bit sooner. That being said, though, guys, be sure to vote in the 2020 WWE/NXT/AEW Year in Review Awards right now on WrestleRant.com. Go to the website, go to Week in Review. It's a drop-down menu, or it's right in the homepage if you scroll down a little bit. The polls don't pop up right away. It takes a couple seconds for them to load, but once they do vote in every category, the results will be reviewed and revealed on the December 31st, 2020 edition, the New Year's Eve episode of WrestleRant Radio with RJ and myself. And like I said earlier, subscribe. We got content coming up every single day. I made it my goal going into 2020, not a lofty goal by any means, but post at least one video a day all year long. And I have managed to stay true to that. Even if it's sometimes minutes to midnight, I've stayed true to that. And I got receipts too, so be sure to subscribe for more daily content, including stuff like this, Talking Smack reviews, Raw Talk reviews, SmackDown audio reviews, because we don't cover SmackDown usually on WrestleRant Radio, so I do it separately here on the channel as an exclusive to the channel. We have hashtag AskGSM, we have WrestleRant Radio excerpts, we have my exclusive interviews with people like Goldberg, and so much more. So again, hit that bell button to be notified every time a new video goes up. Have an awesome rest of your weekend, folks. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.